Hello, everybody. It's your boy Ryan here with Cameron and David, back again with another Smoovers podcast. Schmoozing with the Smoovers.
Yeah.
Number 4, and we're going back to the roots because yet another Back for Blood update just dropped, so we're gonna do another podcast episode on that. So to start us off with the simplest thing, guys, just very quick, brief overall opinions for the June update that just occurred. Like a couple weeks ago at this point? We're a little behind from when we had this, but how do we feel? It wasn't as big of an update as a previous one, I feel like. Yeah, just a slightly smaller one, but
Wasn't the previous one in the DLC?
I meant wasn't there another update before that, or is it just the DLC? Am I crazy?
I think it was the DLC. This is a pretty big update.
This is a pretty big one, though. I guess it's an
not being
update.
DLC.
True.
Yeah.
And overall, it made the game a lot better, I think.
Yeah. I think it made the game better. I don't like that they removed some stuff, but we can talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, sounds good. I think so. I think general consensus amongst us and then just general player base. I think most people pretty happy that Turtle Rock is pushing these updates beyond just DLC patches, because I guess they don't really have to, even though it's like, a dying game, but appreciate them adding content for just these standard monthly sort of updates in between, I guess, the bigger DLC updates, presumably.
The paid updates.
Yeah, presumably, right? Because like every few months, we're going to get a DLC theoretically. So those are the big ones. So if we get one of these in between every DLC, I feel like we can't be that upset, right?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But jumping straight into the first big thing that this update
jump
added.
into it.
Jump straight into it, my dudes. So a big thing people were talking about after the last DLC update was, I love how these full deck draws work, blah, 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 all these things. A lot of people were talking about how they love that mechanic in No Hope. And either to the dismay or happiness of a lot of people, full deck draw is now just the standard, across all the modes. So how do people feel about this change to the game?
This is kind of the main thing that I was talking about earlier, that when we talked about it in the last podcast, I remember I said, like, they didn't fill a need, they created a new one. Yeah. And I really appreciate that they added the full deck draw to all the other difficulties. I wish it were a setting that you could turn off, because now they kind of just got rid of content for no reason. So
they did say in the patch notes that they're going to make it so it's there's different
it's a
types of game modes. Yeah, they probably will add the old one back.
That, but I did see actually they said they were gonna add random draw.
Yeah.
I think
so they're gonna add like a few different settings for how you want to get your cards.
Like in order, full deck, and then random will be possible. So I think that's really cool that they're like experimenting with ways to play the game, especially for newer players, not just making the game harder, which is
I'm surprised that they did it like on all difficulties.
Yeah.
But it means they're listening. So that's good.
Yeah, straight up, when I saw this in the patch notes, I know I thought like, oh, they're listening to everyone. And then B, when I saw them talking about some other things, like, the random draw and everything, I'm like, man, they must have watched our podcast episode, because we hit a lot of these points, I feel like. Well, I think we kind of just I think our beliefs towards the game align with a lot of big fans, so, I think that makes a lot of sense. But I completely agree with both you guys. I do think, I feel like balancing for the game is an issue with like these different kind of ways of drawing the deck, because the game was originally balanced with you building your deck over time, and then No Hope obviously changed that a little bit for that mode, and then them adding full deck to every game mode. And I know they tried to rebalance the game, but I feel like going forward that is going to continue to be a problem from the looks of it, right? Because if you only get one card per level, or even with like the hives, adding that extra card, like it was already an issue, right? The meta of how to play the levels became different quite a bit, I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think overall, I think the lower difficulties just became easier, with that. And I feel like this full deck draw adds to that. Like the early levels on every act now you just have your full deck like immediately. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of easy in my experience. And then the later levels feel sort of no different a lot of the time. Like I think
Well, it's good for like difficulty progression because it always felt like all the acts. I felt the first couple levels were hardest, and then towards the end, it was
yeah,
just
it's got
easy.
easier. Yeah.
Yeah, so this just makes more sense, I think, especially for new players.
Yeah, I think so.
Levels usually get harder, but not easier.
I might be weird with saying this. My like the only reason why I actually like I prefer full deck, but one thing I kind of miss is feeling like I got actively stronger like over the course of the act. And I mean, that's not gone completely obviously. Like by the end of an act you're like usually completely like decked out with like better weapons, etc., right? But I kind of feel
the
like
progression is mainly weapons.
yeah, I feel like the gap between like me feel, you know, like at the start of an act you're slow, you have low stamina, whatever, your health isn't that great, and by the end of it you're like ultra speeding around, your damage is, you know, whatever else, like all the different things that you got added. You don't feel that power up over the course of an act anymore. It's kind of like, oh, you come in and like your baseline feels like a baseline now, right? Whereas before the baseline was bad, and then the end of the level you felt like a superhero running around. Like I don't know, like I kind of liked feeling a power up by the end of an act, which doesn't exist so much anymore. But that's fine. Like it doesn't need to feel that way. That wasn't really the point, I don't think. But that's something I'm definitely gonna miss.
See what you're saying, but yeah.
No, yeah, I do agree with like there used to be the hurdle of getting over the first few levels of an act, and now yeah, I think that hurdles later a lot of the time, maybe just like a different level. But yeah, overall I think this was a good change. And like David hit, they're gonna like both you guys hit, they'll be adding the other modes in the future, maybe on the next DLC update. Not entirely sure what the timeline on that looks like, but
Yeah, no clue.
I will be curious how they implement that because of online matchmaking. Like
Yeah,
is there just gonna be a norm? Like is
if you
full
can
deck draw the
queue
norm? Because I feel like there's no way you could split your queues, right? Like
they're probably just gonna force you to take one. Like you can put your preferences, but then like they'll just fill you into a game, and that game
Yeah.
will have a specific setting.
yeah, because like I
if there's
couldn't.
a spot
Yeah,
that's already in progress. They're just gonna slot you in and say
true. You're right.
use whatever they have running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think they would divide their queue.
No, yeah,
They
you really can't, right? Like, yeah, it's already not that big of a queue.
Yeah.
I don't think. Like, I don't know. You see some of the same players sometimes, even so. Like, it can't be that big. But yeah, we'll be curious how they tackle that and consider it. I do think how David described it. I think a lot of games would do something similar, and I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. So, but yeah, first big change. Moving on. Talking about, you know, getting better weapons and everything. Well, there's some new burn cards, and then those corruption cards. Thank you, David, for
I was right.
tuning us in a
100%.
previous video. Don't know if you guys saw that, but our local what is it, data miner, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Local data miner predicted that those lovely chests in the hives would do more, and he specifically said what they would do. So that's kind of cool. But beyond that, yeah, we got legendary accessories and then new burn cards. So when this patch dropped, like initially day one, the only thing people were really talking about, because it was like the thing they tweeted about, was legendary accessories. How do you guys feel about these? Do you think any of this stuff actually changes the game all that much?
Change solo.
Yeah.
The legendary accessories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think solo, the legendary accessories have made the game kind of broken. Since the bots can have infinite uses with them, but I think they're a good addition. It's kind of a cool find whenever you get one.
Mm-hmm.
It felt pretty natural, right? Like
Yeah.
a natural addition almost, yeah.
One of my complaints that I think I was talking about with someone in chat the other day was that they don't stack. So like before it was like you have an offensive accessory and you're like, okay, I'm gonna carry the mollies, and then you just like have like 3 or 4 mollies on you,
Yeah.
and then you find a legendary, and it's like it's not so much a trade-off of should I have a molly or a legendary molly. Like obviously the choice is you pick the better one.
Yeah.
But it's now should I have 3 mollies or 1 legendary molly, which is I think kind of a downside of just the way that they stack in your inventory, and it makes it less. It gives me less incentive to take that item when I have more things to hold. Like if you
I
have
think
one
they should
slot,
like have
it's
their
fine,
own
but
slot or something.
yeah, I
The
mean,
legendary slot.
yeah, I mean, what I was thinking was just like you just have like a slot for legendary item, and then you can only hold one legendary item at a time of any type. So like you can't have a legendary med kit and a legendary Molotov at the same time. You can just have one. Because I feel like that would allow you to have that legendary and use it whenever you want to without sacrificing your other items. And then if you happen to have a second legendary, I feel like at that point it's okay to say to the player, no, you're not allowed to have two of these. They're too good.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I'll be honest, I don't even know what all them do.
I haven't really used the Molotov. I don't think it's that good from
I
what
just
I've
know the
read.
med
Just
kit
like
one because
It's
that's what everyone
not
was
that
talking
good,
about.
honestly, because the Molotov just makes it so that like
other
any
things catch on
ridden,
fire.
any ridden that lights on fire from it can light other ridden on fire as well. But like
Okay.
I feel like if a ridden is close enough to be lit on fire, they're just gonna catch on fire from the molly
Yeah,
anyway.
they probably went through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Molly's pretty weak.
Yeah.
It's cool that they give you like more cards when you use them though.
hmm
I don't know if wait does the Molotov doesn't though. So
No,
yeah,
the
I think the
ammo pouch.
Molotov is just kind of bad
Kind of bad.
compared to all the other ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the ammo pouch gives you an ammo card, and the
I think it gives you
med
three.
gives you a health card. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's really cool. Like the accessory can give you permanent upgrades just by using it.
yeah. And the defib picks you up when you go down and shocks things around you.
Huh.
Yeah, I think they're a really
The
good addition.
flashbang's like really strong.
Oh yeah. The flashbang is just like it's just like multiple flashbangs in one.
Yeah,
Oh.
you just throw it at a breaker and you are definitely going to kill it before it comes back. Snaps
Huh.
back. Yeah.
Just generally
Legendary
like
accessories, very cool.
yeah, just generally another cool little addition that you see occasionally in your games, and you're always happy to see one.
Yeah, there's no downside to them being added to the game.
Except when you have to
Yeah.
drop your 3 mollies to pick
Yeah.
up the subpar legendary molly.
Yeah, I mean you can always just choose not to.
True. That is always a
Throw it as soon
possibility.
as you find it and then get your other one.
The other thing we didn't talk about on the screen was the new burn cards. I know David in particular has some opinions about the new burn cards. I think they're pretty cool, I'll say. I think
They are very cool.
they're pretty cool burn cards. I'm kind of a burn card hoarder myself, so I feel bad using them like ever. But whenever my friend plays on my account and unlocks a lot of burn cards from me, I'm always excited to start using them again. So
Did a little grinding off stream.
Yeah, so-
Right.
anyone want to care to explain why the burn cards are a little frustrating, I suppose?
So the burn cards I really like. I think they're really good additions. Like the upgrades for your weapons, for your accessory slots, really cool. Basically just like saving money that you would spend in game otherwise. They're just like pure copper, which is like what hired gun was originally. The problem is that these burn cards cost totems, and they're not all the same. Like maybe one totem I could understand if each one of them was one totem, but like some of them go up to 5 totems for a single burn card. Like I don't think I could even ever see myself using that burn card because I would never feel like any run was
Not
fitting
worth it.
of the 5 totem burn card. So I mean, I think it's really annoying that they did that. I understand that they have to put more stuff to be unlocked by totems, which is why I really like the new cosmetics that we'll talk about in the future. But I don't think that burn cards under totems is the way to go. Like, I think that's just too far. Personally, I don't really like supply points being used for cards either, but that's just me.
I think there's two solutions they could probably come up with to like fix that, and that's either make it so you can pick which burn card you're buying with your totems
Mhm.
instead of like it being random,
Yeah.
or yeah, like you just go into a little shop and you can pick it specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Or like we were talking, like David, you found that there's skull shards possibly in the future.
Yeah.
So it's possible that they're just making it easier for you to get skull totems because they've done it in the past. They've put a problem into the game in a patch, and then in a future patch they
Yeah.
put the solution.
That's true.
So I have a feeling that this is just one of those things where, oh wow, these cards cost a lot of totems and it's kind of hard to get, but they're just going to make it easier to get totems in the future update.
Who's ready for my amazing solution? I've thought about
Let's hear
this for nights now, and I have it. Okay.
Go ahead.
So
Alrighty.
everyone's issue, right, is that the economy is there's inflation
economy.
within the game right now, right? Like 5 skull totems for 1 burn card that you use, and it's just gone like that, right? Like one snap
Constant
and it's
supply,
gone.
increased demand.
Exactly. Okay. So you want my solution, guys? Okay. We create a burn card loot box. Okay, and it costs
No.
1 totem, and you get a random burn card in response. It just randomizes it, and you get a cute little animation. But the crazy thing is, it's not just the skull totem burn cards. So you can get Schmoozed and get a supply points one. Boom, genius. Everyone's happy. So they take
And
skull
it's
totems.
always one.
So it's always one. It's always on, okay? So they take skull totems out of the economy, right? Because that's apparently what they're doing here, right? Because like 5 for a burn card's absurd in like a chain of them, right? So like you're paying so much for 1 burn card. So they're trying to get these skull totems out of the economy. But if you have something you can consistently roll them on at a cheap price, okay? Like I just went into a hive, got my 1 totem. I can't use 1 totem to buy a cosmetic, but you know what I can do is roll a loot box. What do you guys think?
Solution.
What do you guys think?
I've actually seen something similar to this where people have said like it's really annoying to go through even normal supply lines and
Yeah.
like click through one by one, like give me this, because
Yeah.
you have so many supply points and all you can do with them is buy burn
just
cards.
buy the-
It's
yeah.
like, just buy all of them and then you wait for the next one to come up and then you just
Add some
continuously.
excitement to it.
So yeah, like some
Yeah.
randomization of saying, all right, here's my supply points, just give me a burn card.
Yeah, no, that's like I was half joking when I first thought of it, but then I thought about it and it's like, yeah, like I kind of don't love aimlessly clicking on the thing. And I think that would even still be a good solution for players that don't have everything, right? Like maybe not even like burn cards at that point. Maybe if you just pay a random amount. I know it kind of breaks the supply point system and like how they have cards, but like, yeah, you pay like, I don't know, 600 supply points and they just give you a card because then it's like,
I mean, do they even give them to you in a specific order? Like the cards to unlock? I feel like they give you some strong
no.
ones
yeah. It's
early
like,
and then late. It's like it's just kind of random anyways.
What do you mean?
Like the cards when
Like
you're
the-
unlocking them for the first time.
yeah.
Like the actual cards.
Like the normal cards.
Um
Like, wouldn't it just be nice to get them randomly at like since you
Yeah.
can play any difficulty right off the
I don't
bat?
think the cards themselves are set, but once like the caravans themselves
Yeah, they are. I think.
are
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
So
Alright,
like
just randomize it all.
let me
Put
see.
a pinball machine right but next to the jukebox. Get your burn card.
I think it would be funny.
No, it looks like the cards actually are set.
Oh.
See, I like a little bit of spice of life, you know? A little randomization.
Yeah, they're all set.
Like I want to get
Just not
I
burn
want to
cards.
get pinata, you know? I'll pay 1 totem at a time until I get that darn card, bro.
Add a third currency. That's what they need to do.
That's what the shards are, bro.
Hey, that's what's coming. That's what's hopefully coming. Predictions.
Then you combine 3 shards into a totem.
Okay, I think we
See?
talked enough about this.
Yeah.
Let's moving on. I guess the
You have
other
to
thing,
craft it for an hour.
another thing in the economy of sorts, but you have to craft for an hour. Oh my goodness! New banners, sprays, emblem skins. Don't at me if these aren't them. I just pulled random sprays and I just pulled random ones, and then I got
2
the
of the
one
same.
skin. So, oh my gosh, there's 2 of the same. I swear it wasn't 2 of the same when I did this. Don't at me.
Hey, but Jim's a cowboy now.
Hey, Jim's a
And
cowboy
Walker-
now. Hey, we love the new skins. The new skins were hype though. Okay, the new skins were hype.
New skins are very good.
They were pretty hyped for.
I understand that they're
Random update.
they're bought with totems, which makes sense because they're like high effort, high
Hey.
reward.
Yeah,
And they don't
have to
change the
have-
game. They're just skins.
Yeah, they have to have reason, for people to play the new content
Yeah.
and unlock it. It's fine. I don't blame them.
I am not a fan of banners or sprays or emblems. I just don't like that whole
Why?
Dude,
that whole
everyone,
section of the game.
dude, everyone always uses the same one
I
as me.
don't like expressing myself.
I just don't
Oh, thank
like
you.
them. I don't know. Like none of them are good.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I was looking through them to put some on this slide, they were all kind of bad. I'll say.
Like,
that.
I want your custom mod again.
Yeah, you you look at a game like Overwatch and they have like 1 million player profiles.
You
And
think
like
Back
you
4
can
Blood ever does? Yeah, like Black Ops, like custom ones.
absolutely not.
Yeah, right.
Will
Absolutely
any
not.
game
We can
that?
dream though.
again?
Give you the
Minecraft?
limited tools. Give you like 8 different shapes and see what you can make with it. And then go onto
No.
YouTube and find a video for like a tutorial on how to make like Winston Overwatch and Black Ops 2.
Nah, dude, you give them a rectangle, you know what they're making. It's not
True,
gonna happen.
Minecraft Steve. You right though.
It's not gonna.
You
giving
right.
that much power on like a public forum. Like already, they have like profanity filters,
Yeah.
and so they're just not. I don't think they're gonna do that.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think people should be able to make what they want, but you
Oh.
know, a big company like
Okay,
Warner Bros. is not
Second thought.
that.
What What if they had like a user submitted portal where like people could send in their art and then they could like add it. I mean, I guess that maybe there's like some like issues with that for like legality reasons. I don't
No,
know.
I mean Minecraft does that.
Okay, but
The
yeah, maybe
Minecraft Marketplace.
maybe they could do something like that where like there's like an approval. Because to be honest, I know Back 4 Blood is not the biggest game in the world. Like I feel like maybe they could handle some capacity of that. I don't know. Could be interesting.
Yeah,
And then people would
things
be
like-
really hyped to see their own art or like their own ideas in the game, right? Like that'd be really cool.
Yeah, things like the sprays and banners and stuff are just PNGs.
Oh my
Like,
gosh,
anyone can
wait.
make that.
No, you're right. And I just thought of something second. Like, what about like Smoover fans? What if they want to like spray a cardboard box or something in their game, Like, or like people like even like Swing Point. You know what? I don't know. Like, you can have like people
Yeah.
for fans of like the people to like spray it and be like, hey, you're also a fan of so and so. That's so cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a thought, and it's also like I guess less work for them because then their fans are creating it for them. They just have to implement it, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely like what happens in Minecraft is just like you upload your skin to a database, and then whenever someone plays with you, they have to download your skin from that database to see what you look like in game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's no the problem with the sprays right now that I see is like because I can mod the sprays on my end to look different, but they're still gonna look
Yeah, because it's
The
just a
same
PNG in
someone
the
else.
files or
yeah
something.
because it's literally just a raw reference to a PNG
Okay.
in the file.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they don't actually download your spray. They just know like where to look in their own files.
I see.
So if they could just implement something like that, which is like you upload your spray to a database and then
And it just points to this database.
Yeah.
Okay,
and they
I see.
can even monitor that. Like if all the sprays are stored on a TRS server, then they can just
Mm-hmm.
remove sprays that they don't like.
I don't know. I think that'd be really cool. I never really thought about it until looking at this right now again. But I think that'd be really fun and really cool. And like
Mm-hmm.
as Cam said, a way to express yourself within the game. So
Yeah.
Because yeah, the current ones, a lot of them are pretty bland. Like, I'm also not really connected to any of the characters or like zombies in the game, and a lot of them are like references to that. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like the embodiment of Holly or like Evangelo. Like, even if I play as those characters, it's not like I don't main them. I just
Oh
play as
yeah,
them.
that is totally me, bro.
Yeah.
I am Holly, bro.
No,
I
yeah.
love
But I think
Emblems.
they're just gonna keep adding stuff like this, like obvious. It's like an obvious thing for them to keep adding. Like even if it's never the main focus, they're gonna just keep casually
Yeah,
dropping
'cause
bandit
they're
sprays,
easy.
emblems, and skins. Yeah, right. Because it's not that hard for them to do.
Yeah, the skins
Um,
are the hard ones, but the skins are also the ones that
People
are
care about
paying
and like
for.
yeah, yeah, exactly right. So, what else we have? Oh, okay. Talking about Holly and my favorite character in the game. So, I guess this is where I said campaign balance updates. I guess I don't know why. Oh, I said balance
Yeah.
updates. Yeah.
Dude, the environment got buffed and like no one is talking about it. I put the
Environment.
patch notes. Yeah.
The game's easier, for sure.
Well, because of I think the game is easier because of the cards,
Isn't it? Yeah, isn't it because of the card
but they
change?
definitely buffed the environment. They decreased the. Well, they increased intel,
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
but they decreased like
Yeah, they
copper
changed.
piles.
They changed the
spawn.
numbers on like
They
everything.
made things hit harder.
Yeah.
They reduced trauma heal between maps. Yeah.
I feel like the balancing for them, like I said, is just an ongoing issue. Like, whenever they touch something, they have to change the balance, and often they have to change the balance for like everything in every difficulty. So I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like always a pain for them.
Yeah.
But they did change a lot of numbers on a lot of
They
things.
changed most of them like down.
Yeah, they made everything like appear less or like.
They
stuff like
decreased
that.
copper piles, sleepers, call hordes, and veteran. They increased trauma damage in nightmare. They decreased the amount of copper you earn per cleaner survived in no hope. They increased the amount of damage that ferocious and monstrous deal in nightmare, and they increased nightmare trauma by 10%.
Yeah, I think
So-
overall, the changes made sense, and yeah, like
Yeah.
Cam said, the game still
just
feels
not
easier because
Yeah,
they have
not
it. Yeah,
enough to
because they
offset
have. Yeah.
hard the full deck.
Which I think, like, yeah, that's just gonna continue to be because, like, yeah, they can just make the numbers insane, but like, that's not necessarily fun either. I don't know, right? Like, it's hard to find the right balance there.
It's easier, but that's like it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. But the other two big changes were the cleaner changes. So
Yes.
Holly's the really big one. I think it was literally on our last podcast. I don't know if it was the last one. Might have been 2 ago where we talked about like cleaner roles and like how we felt the cleaners should have sort of select roles in a sense. And this patch definitely went the reverse of that, I would say. Holly was kind of notorious as like one of two melee cleaners. Like if you're gonna play melee, you should play as one of these two. And I think the patch change pushed her slightly. Like she's not bad at melee anymore. Like or she's not bad at melee right now, but I think she's able to play other roles more effectively. I guess. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they turned a really strong melee into a good melee,
Mm-hmm.
and then
A decent.
bad at
else.
everything else
Yeah.
to okay at everything else.
Yeah.
Which
They made
I
everyone
don't agree.
else able to be as good as Holly was if they wanted to play melee.
If they use the card
but
space.
not like it's just worse. Like, so I mean, just to say like what they did is they changed. Holly used to get 10 stamina for every ridden kill. Now she gets 1 health for every ridden kill, and they added to adrenaline fueled on top of what was before. Now you get 5 extra stamina per ridden you kill. And also one important change is they decreased battle lust from 2 to 1 health. So I think all of those changes together means that if you're doing a Holly melee, it's just objectively worse. Because Holly's one healing coupled with the one healing from Battle Lust is basically like what Battle Lust used to be, except now you only get 5 stamina per kill instead of 10 if you're using adrenaline fueled. So it's just an objectively worse character. But that's only if you're playing melee, because then if you're playing anyone else, like the extra stamina per kills is not really useful, and the health I've heard is like a lot more useful. People who don't play melee think that's busted because they're not used to just generating health when you kill things. But that's kind of like a standard in playing melee. So I don't think it's that great for a melee player. I think she's just worse now. But for people who are playing Holly as non-melee, I think it's definitely more viable. I feel like they weren't really feeling the extra stamina per kill because they weren't. If you're like holding back and using a sniper or something, you're not going to feel that stamina increase versus like actual health.
She was only good as melee, and now she's good at multiple jobs.
Yeah, I mean, not that she was.
I don't think it's a bad change. She just wasn't really well.
She wasn't.
If you were playing her as different roles, you
might as well play someone.
Yeah, you could have just played someone else.
Yeah,
that's how I think the game should be. That's how
we've talked about it.
That's how most of the cleaners are, I think. And just making Holly specifically, like singling her out, I don't think is productive because they're kind of going in reverse.
I don't think it's the worst change in the world. It doesn't break Holly to the point she's like bad. I still think she's really good.
Yeah, obviously she's not bad. Like melee is still good. It's just Holly melee is worse. And obviously the argument I've heard from other people is either A, oh well, melee is still good, just play Charisse, she hasn't changed, which is true, but Holly is a different melee than Charisse. And the other argument I've heard is if you're playing melee and you're running out of stamina, then you're bad, which I just think that you should, like, we just have less stamina now, so there's more thought that goes into like what you're swinging at, where you're running and stuff. So I mean, it's harder, it's not as good, but it's still very good.
It's just like thinking.
It's like we were talking about last time. They're just nerfing things.
I feel like it's good, but in a different way. I think melee, like with Holly, you were good at taking out just an entire horde of Ridden, but now maybe you're better at taking out.
Yeah, the way I
with like a heavy hitter, like the hard heavy hitter, so
and
good.
Sunder. The change to Sunder. I think before it was like Holly was clearing melee and Charisse was special melee. Now I feel like they've made Holly less of a clearing only melee. By adding her stamina ability to a card, you can take Charisse and take Adrenaline Fueled. You can have a Charisse with Adrenaline Fueled who has like half of what Holly used to have, but Charisse has like no stamina. Like if you play Charisse melee, you kind of have to build stamina because you're going to be going Fire Axe, which takes so much. And they nerf Fire Axe too, so it takes more stamina.
Isn't it like okay though? So if you want to play melee, just take Charisse. Like, or are you picking characters because you like Holly? Like, is Holly just because you like the character?
Well, I think that's how it has to be right now, because I think before Charisse and Holly had their own spots. Like Charisse was a special melee and Holly was a clearing melee. But now I think Holly's just a worse Charisse.
That's fair.
Because, like I said, like Holly's ability now is just Battle Lust. It's like just go Charisse, take Battle Lust, take Adrenaline Fueled. Now you have Holly's current ability and Holly's previous ability. Why do you need Holly? I mean, she gives extra stamina.
Do you think
but
they changed it because they wanted people playing Holly to do more
something.
pyro builds?
I have no idea why they changed that. Honestly,
I don't know why they do what they do.
I don't know why they do what they do. But yeah, I mean, this is something that I've talked a lot about and thought a lot about. So I have a lot of opinions. I know Ryan isn't really talking.
I don't play Holly.
Talkative one.
I don't play Holly. I don't play melee builds. I mean, I
move
can
on
talk.
to-
I don't really play melee.
Hey, I can talk a lot about my boy Heng though, bros. Oh my gosh. Yo, they buffed my boy. I've been ride or die for this guy since release, okay? And let me tell you, this guy, I don't even think they had to buff him, okay? This guy drops so many things, like, every single, like, level when I play this guy.
Yeah,
It's
when you play
insane. It's absolutely
when
insane,
you play
dude.
him, you get
Well, yeah,
down all the time.
it's because I'm lucky, right? It's because I'm lucky. Haha. Yeah, right, guys. Huh? So I think the weird Hang changes are a little weird. I don't know. I don't think they really addressed.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's such a weird cleaner.
They have to rework him.
He's so weird because it's like the cleaners that exist where it's like they're only good if you're bad. It's like like how do you approach that from a balancing standpoint? It's like we'll buff it to the point where if you're bad, the character's OP, and if you're good, you should get bad. Like, yeah, no, like literally, right? Like, I joke about how like, Heng broken because like the joke is I'm bad for those of you that don't really know. I think everyone should know though. But like, to be fair, like if I feel like Heng's broken, like what? Like if I'm bad at the game, I shouldn't feel good. Like I should feel, I don't know. Like, why make a character where bad players are good? Just make the game easier to get good at. Like,
he's an amazing bot, though. I will say that.
Same thing with Mom.
S tier bot.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think cleaners that exist where their strength is when your team is failing innately aren't good for the game. They're
good for beginners.
Let me rephrase that because I don't think they're innately bad for the game, right? Because you do have that, like, there is that world, right, where you're a group of 4 and you have that one friend that's like the baddie and you just throw him on Heng and you don't tell them anything else, right? Like, it does have that specific role. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. But, like, the fact that they're trying to buff that because they understand that he's bad is so silly. Because his additional effects are just so worthless. Like, and I guess maybe from your guys' good perspective, like good player perspective, maybe they're just worthless because you already like play the game like that. Maybe if you're a new bad player, you don't think about that stuff. So seeing a big flashing thing like, oh, pick up this thing, like, okay, maybe you're more interested, right? Like, maybe that's cool to you. I don't know. But I'm happy about the change because they buffed me. So
yeah,
there we go.
Cool stuff. But yeah, I think overall, interesting how they handle the cleaner changes, I think, every time. I don't know if they know what they're doing, and we sure as heck don't. So we'll just eagerly await to see if they continue to change exciting stuff. Yeah, no, I mean, it is, to be fair, right? Like, you never know if they're just going to come in and blow up your Hoffman build. Like, it could happen. It probably should, I think.
It doesn't drop offensive items anymore.
That would be crazy.
I mean, they did nerf him.
Yeah, but
first update. Did you not hear?
No, like, I'm just waiting for them to like break Doc or something. I mean,
they fixed him, but
yeah.
But that's a nerf because his bug was good.
Yeah. But to wrap things up, kind of a shorter podcast episode because it was a shorter update. I'm sure upcoming. I mean, whenever the DLC stuff comes out, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about.
August. Maybe.
So yeah, it's like a month and a half away or something. I mean, whenever they release it, I mean, the release weekend, whenever they drop ahead of time, like that they're dropping the update or the DLC, we'll like react to that stuff or something and theorize.
Oh, yeah.
And then after it comes out, we'll talk about our opinions. I think is how that should go. But that's down the future. If you guys have any other cool podcast ideas, AZM Pikachu, I know you're watching. Drop them in the comments below, brother. Hey, I read those. I read those comments. But question of the day, if you've made it this far, has Back 4 Blood gotten better each update, including DLC and these kind of like intermediate like patching like updates, sort of like balancing and such? I think yes. I think the answer is yes. I don't think any update has made the game like worse?
I think the update before Tunnels of Terror was not a good one.
Is that the one that like got rid of speedrunning stuff, or is that the one before that one?
I think they
Yeah,
broke
no, is the one that
break
broke
special
alarm
spawns in that
doors.
one.
Yeah, they increased special spawns and they made it so common can't destroy alarm doors.
Oh yeah, that was and didn't give the solution.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
guess. Sorry, let me.
But-
Okay,
but
so the question.
for the most part,
Okay,
yeah.
so the question is, do we
Yes.
feel the updates have made the game better in its current state, like today? So not
Yes, it's
not
definitely
right,
better.
not adjacent to like when the patch happened. Because yeah, they introduced problems that weren't solved until later. But just like generally speaking, do we think the patches have made the game better? I know obviously they removed speedrunning stuff or like the movement stuff. Like that's just permanently different, right? So like if you liked the speedrunning stuff, then yeah, I guess the game's worse now. But like overall,
for
like
casual or
yeah, I think
mostly
yeah.
Yeah, so the game has improved.
I think
and
the
I
game should
think
be harder.
it's improved even for people who don't have the DLC. Like yeah, the hives are like a lot of content, but like adding into new difficulty, adding the full card draw, and adding new cards every update, and allowing people without the DLC to still kind of get in on it. I think it's really good for people,
I
even if
think-
they don't have the extra annual pass. It's just like
Yeah.
getting better as a game.
I think how Turtle Rock tackled at least the first DLC expansion, I don't know how they're going to tackle them in the future, was pretty generous, I think, at least from a player perspective, cuz like it would like I guess it would really cut your player base like in half, I guess, in terms of like accessibility. But if they only made it where it's like, oh, DLC people can play with DLC people, like I don't know.
I don't think the other way they could have done it.
Yeah.
Because it just changes. It's embedded in the experience itself. Like,
or it's like I don't know.
Do you think the next one would be similar?
Dude, beats me. I don't know what they're gonna add. I didn't think it would be possible for them to add little hives in the. I watched David's theorizing video, man, but like, that's not telling me what's in the next DLC, brother. I have no idea.
I mean, in terms of glyphs, I think they'll do it in the same way.
I think there has to be something that they add that will be DLC exclusive. Like, I think they're gonna have to add something eventually where you can only access it if you own the DLC.
Well, they did that
in the tunnel. There's a door.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Like no. Like literally.
Like you can't play Heng or Charisse.
Yeah, but like.
And it's a small thing, but
I don't think that's like. I don't think that's like core to the. I mean, like, what if they added like a different mode and like you can only go in, or yeah, like jokingly, like there's a door and you get to the door, and if you have the DLC password, you can enter the door. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like at some point they have to add something where you actually needed to buy the DLC to play it.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just think it's too easy to not buy the DLC and still experience almost everything the game has to offer. Whereas, like, I think from their perspective, they're gonna want to incentivize more people to buy the DLC.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them for that. Like, I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, like DLC, like you're paying for something.
Additional content.
Stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like just another character then.
You think they're gonna add more characters?
I think they're gonna add more characters.
Yeah, probably.
But I think I don't know. It's hard to say. I just think that like I like how they're handling like with each DLC update they still give people who don't own it extra stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I also can see that like they should have stuff that like makes people buy the DLC.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off.
Yeah, it's a balance that they have to hit to make
like currently
everybody happy.
It's only characters that DLC like is DLC people exclusive. So
I mean,
dude, I'm just waiting for this Reaper. When does the Reaper come? That invincible ogre.
do you think like the challenge? Wait, do we think the challenges those are just gonna be in levels, or that's like a different game mode? Do you think they're actually gonna put an invincible ogre?
I think they're just gonna be no burn like corruption cards. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's crazy. I don't know.
And some of them will be corruption cards, but some of them will be like the special objectives, where like you get supply points or copper for finishing them.
Wasn't one of them like headshots only or snipers only?
Yeah.
How could
Let's get
those
good.
be in the game? Like,
Get good, kid.
they can't just make everyone have a sniper.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they could.
Supply drops in. The guy that's like pissing in the corner hands you a sniper and says, "Good luck, get headshots."
Just like, I know you have a build where you can't aim and you have no accuracy, but good luck.
Good luck,
It
man.
It could also be like a different mechanic where it's like you take on the challenge, sort of like a burn
You
card.
accept it?
Yeah, like you accept the challenge,
Oh.
finish it, then you get extra stuff at the end of the level.
Uh-huh.
It's like another way to boost your copper, but you have to opt in.
I could see it if like each individual had to opt in. Like,
Maybe.
it's like the no aiming for the snipers only.
But the
it doesn't
invincible
make sense
ogre
for
is just
melee.
gonna appear on the map, so I don't
That's
think
wild.
that specific one could.
Like, so
Yeah.
you're just supposed to run? I thought they were against
No.
running.
No, you
Oh,
just gotta run.
I feel like this. I don't think it's gonna be in the normal. I think there has to be something else. It's not gonna be in the normal campaign, like either a
Uh-huh.
game mode or something.
Don't know.
I don't know. Hard to say. Maybe we'll theory craft in a future podcast and talk it over. I think it'd be funny if we did a podcast episode where we all came with created characters. Cleaners, sorry. Let me
My
rephrase that.
cleaner Stona.
Yeah.
I get
If we were to make a cleaner, if Turtle Rock called us in and was like, "Yo, what's your best cleaner idea?" I think that'd be funny to see what we could provide.
I get
I
10
mean-
pelt for shooting teammates.
I think my cleaner would be great. Like if you stand behind your teammate for 5 seconds, pickpocket like 300 copper from them or something. Like I think I'd be good at this. Like I don't know, man.
Dude, honestly, like a cleaner that is like more raw economy, like just gives you copper somehow.
Okay, hey, wait.
That's what I wanted Heng to be.
Wait, I
like,
didn't want to leak my strat, but hey.
He's the businessman, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna have a guy that was just wearing like a suit, like a tarnished suit. His name was gonna be
Dude,
Jeffrey.
Yo, he should be like in Rivals of Ether, where he just has like his own little shop, and
Yeah.
you just pull it up, and then you can
He
like
pulls
sell,
out his laptop.
You can like
He-
sell. extra
He's carrying a
grenades you
laptop.
find. Yeah.
He can hotspot into certain places.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Either
But,
25%
that would
more
be so
copper or
cool,
you
though.
lose it all.
That would be
I
cool
don't
if you
know.
could like sell things back to the shop. You know,
I think it'd be a
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
find so many extra things on the floor.
I think it'd be a fun episode to do. I think it
Pure
allows
chaos.
for a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
But I think that will do it for this podcast episode. Any closing remarks from everyone before I wrap us up?
Goodbye, Pikachu.
Yeah, true. Hey, true. Okay, so last closing remark.
Closing remarks. Healer is Doc is
Okay.
busted, bro.
Okay, bro. I told Cam beforehand this, so if this video gets 3 likes on the channel,
Yeah, 3 likes.
Are you ready for it, David?
are you ready for it, David? If this video gets 3 likes, we're doing a Shrek review on the podcast. Where
Oh,
we
that's
review
not
all the
happening.
Shrek movies. So
Only
get
3 likes.
Get this video to
Moving
3
the like
likes, guys. Get this video to 3 likes, everybody. Hope you
I'm
guys have a
opting
great
out of the like
time.
button.
Thank you so much for watching, and do please drop your comments on how you feel about our opinions on this, your own opinions, and future podcast ideas. We really do appreciate it. Have a good one, guys, and peace out.
Yeah.